I hate this guy. Five Nights at Freddy's. What can I really say? When I was a kid, you'd be into it or shunned. No other option. From talking about the missing kids to Foxy as a good guy, it brought out such a horrifying but mysterious game that you just couldn't help but endlessly talk about with your friends. So, cut to today. Security Breach's DLC, Ruin, came out to an extremely underwhelming result. Whilst fans think it's a step up from the base game, it still isn't the horror game we all expect from such a beloved franchise. So, what does that have to do with anything? Well, everything really. Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise I've been there for the beginning. Literally the beginning. The birth. The birth. I've watched it grow, change, morph. I've watched it fail, I've watched it succeed. But that flame that once kindled, it's sadly becoming lost to the wind. Now, here's the thing. Fnaf is a franchise where I've become incredibly fond of the characters, the lore.
Kiss me on my hot mouth.
Clearly I was talking in the past tense, so I like the characters, I like the lore. What about the games? Well, VR is funny. I don't really love any of the games that don't require a synchro summon of both my testicles to afford play. Where I felt this began easily is Fnaf 3. It has such a boring gameplay cycle, and then you move on to Fnaf 4, which is a divisive one. Some loving it, some disliking it. Sister Location is just not good. Pizza Sim has a really fun, if not half-baked, sim mode, and probably the worst FNAF gameplay in the entire franchise. Ultimate Custom Night is more of a challenge mode than a full game, which leaves us with Security Breach. A very poorly done FNAF game in basically every aspect it aims to accomplish. My point is, beyond the first two FNAF games, I don't think any of them really hold up besides when it's in VR. When you have fans constantly making better games than the official ones, that's when you know it's kind of rough. Like, editor, put this up. I'm the editor, by the way, I'm speaking to myself. So, here's my favorite, here's my top 5 FNAF games, right here. How many of those are made by Skit Kitten? Name them. I'm obviously not the only one feeling this sentiment, especially post-Security Breach. It doesn't feel like a horror game anymore. It feels very kiddie, very cutesy. Literally the last thing I want to do in this place when I see Roxanne Wolf is run away. Let me tell you that, boys. Also, the series, as it goes on, has a ripple effect on the horror franchise, making a plethora of games come out in a similar fashion to how FNAF did, typically in a poorer quality. The only good franchise to come out of this is Garden of Banban, which is commonly known for being the first game excluded from the Game Awards because it just wasn't fair comparing other games to it. It does sadden me that I don't care for this franchise that much anymore. When Ruin released, I actually didn't know for about 5 hours, and then when I did know, I was just like, fuck it, let me just watch Dawko.
Balloon Boy, guys, Balloon Boy!
And I somehow came out a little bit more disappointed after I watched it. I didn't even pay for the shit. Now, going back a second, the two things I said I loved most were the characters and the lore. And, oh, while I still definitely love the characters, the lore is so bent over backwards that you swear Steel Wool shot their steel load inside. Okay. Here is my understanding of the lore in Security Breach. It goes like, Gregory, who's possibly a robot child, made the image of the Bite of 87 child who was scared in the Freddy Mall, who was chased by a certified baddie, and then Afton is there, but it's not Afton because it's actually Glitch Trap, but just joking because it's actually a mimic whose character has only ever been in the books and has no game relevance until the very end of the DLC, which came out nearly 2 years after Security Breach. If the only way you can inform your fans on vital lore is releasing a vague book tie-in, then you're doing it all the way wrong. That's like us not knowing Afton is Springtrap in FNAF 3, but book 25 says Patrick the child killer got locked in a golden bunny suit, and then Mappa is like, this is clearly a parallel to the purple guy. It is so stupid to the point that I just listen to these two people talk because there's no other way I can actually keep up with the lore anymore. So I don't like the games. They've made it genuinely impossible for me to keep up with the lore unless I'm watching Hello Internet, and Roxanne Wolf makes me wet the bed with my splooge. At least they're 1 for 3? I know this has been a very event-heavy video, but I actually just can't help but feel less and less like an actual FNAF fan as the days go on. I'm more in it these days for the general curiosity than anything. But hey, here's the hope the movie is at least gonna be decent. That's hope with a lowercase h. That movie's gonna fucking suck.
Me, baby, but no matter what, I will be back. I'm addicted to God, from my bins of bars. Will I feast on their hearts, skin till they take shots. This attraction is great, so many guys I can rape till I can't see straight. When can I start? I'm addicted to guards.